Hi everyone, I'm Tony. You're welcome to Tony's English class. Are you learning how to write an essay, be it for college or a university essay, or are you trying to learn how to write an essay for IELTS or TOEFL? If you are such a person, this lesson is for you. In essay writing, there are several types of essay writing. It can be a narrative essay, it can be an expository essay, it can be a descriptive essay or argumentative essay. So today we are going to focus on argumentative essay. We are going to focus on argumentative essay. So argumentative essay can as well be seen as an opinion essay. You can call it argumentative essay or you can call it an opinion essay. Okay. You in the secondary schools, especially those in the terminal, just like the French system, we call the final stage of the secondary school, they call it the terminal. So those in terminal, they deal with all sorts of essay. It can be letter writing, it can be article, speech, or an essay, just like what we're about to do now. So it will be good if you pay attention and follow this lesson from the beginning to the end. Okay? Every essay is written in three parts, or you call it in three forms. We have the introduction, we have the body part, and then the conclusion. The introduction, the body of the essay, and the conclusion. And the introduction is written in three forms. The introduction also has its three parts, which is, I'll call it the hook. The hook, which is a form of something you say to capture the reader. Something you have to say to capture the attention of the reader. Something you will say to make the reader to be interested to read your essay. That's the hook. Then we have the background of the introduction. The background, I can as well see it as the middle sentence. The middle sentences in the introduction, call it the background. Here, you have to create the problem. Like you create the problem. You make the problem known. And why will you create the problem in the background? You create the problem in the background because you want to bring in what is called the thesis. For you to bring in the thesis. The thesis is your own argument, your own opinion in the essay. So the thesis is the main thing you are writing in the essay. The main thing you are defending in the essay. That's the opinion, the thesis. All right. How will you know the type of essay you are asked to write? How will you know the type of essay you are asked to write? You can identify this essay by the way the questions are written. The way you see the question is the way you might identify the type of essay you are writing. For example, I have two questions here. So we are going to read the two questions together to know what we are asked to write, because today we are dealing with argumentative essay. So what exactly are we going to take from these two questions? All right. The first question states, you read in an American magazine this sentence. Africans are the reason of poverty in Africa. Africans are the reason of poverty in Africa. Write a letter to the editor of the magazine to correct this impression. Write a letter to the editor of the magazine to correct this impression. Now, in this particular question, there are some things that we will notice. First of all, we'll be seeing words like magazine, So when we see a word like magazine here, sometimes we might be thinking of maybe an article, you know, but that's not it. Here it is clearly stated. It is clearly stated here, write a letter. Write a letter. You see it? So it is clearly stated here that we are asked to write a letter. So here you know that what you have to write here, what you have to write is a letter. So that is the way you can use to identify what type of essay you are to write, what you are asked to write. So here you are asked to write a letter. So it's not like an essay this way. So here, the second question here states, students blame teachers for their failure in English oral examination. Do you agree? Students blame teachers for their failure in English oral examinations. Do you agree? Do you agree? Here it means you are asked to bring in your opinion. So you see, it makes it look like an argumentative essay. It makes it look like an argumentative essay. So what we are doing today is focusing on argumentative essay. All right. Okay. So based on this particular question that we have chosen now, we have seen that, do you agree, means that we are expected to bring in our opinion. We are expected to defend a particular cause. So what we have to do now is to make a plan. Once you are given an essay, the first thing you do is to plan your work. You don't just barge into it. You don't just start writing. You have to plan. If you don't plan and you start writing, you'll be writing off point. So you have to plan your work first. So let's do the planning. You know, can divide it into two lines. Do you agree? If you want to say I agree, or I disagree. I agree or I disagree. So here you will start looking for arguments to back the two. Look for arguments to back the two. If you agree, what will be your arguments if you agree? If you disagree, what will be your arguments? Write them argument number 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So where you have more arguments, I will advise you to choose that particular area. Where you have more arguments to back your essay, choose that place, because the more points you make, the more mark you get. The more points you make, the more mark you get. Okay? Alright, so now let's go to the introduction properly. Let's go to the introduction properly. Alright. Abonnez-vous à ma chaîne et activez la notification pour toujours bénéficier de ma formation de façon instantanée. Merci beaucoup. Donc, I oblige you to subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the notification button to always have formations like this from me. Thank you very much. So now we are going to talk about the introduction part of the essay. The introduction part of the essay. Here at the introduction part of the essay, we have the hook, we have the background of the introduction and the thesis of the introduction. The hook, the background, and the thesis. These three makes up the introduction part of the essay. And I would advise you to make your introduction to be just half page. Let's just be half page. Let your introduction be just half page. Okay? So in the hook is just a statement or a question or an adage that you will write to capture the attention of the reader. That is why it is called hook. You need to capture the attention of the reader so that he will continue reading the essay, making it getting interested to read the essay. So that is the hook. The hook can be a question, it can be in form of a question. It can be a surprising statement. It can be a quotation. It can be a quotation. Yeah, or an adage. So these are things you write to capture the attention of the reader. So in this situation, the question states, students blame teachers for their failure in English oral examination. Do you agree? You don't just jump into it by saying, yes, I agree, and you start writing, or no, I disagree, and you start writing. No. You can come up with something like, English oral examination is generally a challenge to non-English speakers. You see, when you make a statement like this, you have captured the attention of the reader. Now you go to the background of the introduction, the background of the introduction. So here, what do you do at the background of the introduction? Here, what you have to do is to create the problem. Like, you create the problem, okay? You make known the problem at the background of the introduction. Because, you know, argumentative essay is always an issue. You know, sometimes it can be a controversial issue, and you yourself, and you have your own particular opinion in this issue. So you have to create the problem first. The problem is that students blame teachers for their failure in English oral examination. So you can create the problem by saying that although students always have teachers to be blamed for their failures in English oral examination because of attitudes of some teachers, however, you're now bringing your own opinion by introducing what we call the thesis. The thesis is where you state your own opinion, your own idea in the argument. Your own idea in the argument. That's the thesis. You can call it, you know, your opinion. Your opinion. Okay? So, and what you have as a thesis is what is going to run all through the body of your essay. Okay? So, that's the end of the introduction part of the essay. So, I oblige you to subscribe to my YouTube channel and click on the notification button for more videos like this. Je vous sollicite de vous abonner à ma chaîne YouTube et activer la notification pour toujours bénéficier de mes formations de façon instantanée. Merci beaucoup.